There we go. We're live now. Let's bring up a new page because we've got to do the chat thing. So.
I've never done this before. What do we do? Just talk.
Yeah, well, you just listen and join in. There we go.
My voice sounds weird.
No, it doesn't.
Right, Gary looks weird.
Yeah. Nope. Let's bring up a new page. Yep, there we go. We are live now.
Yay.
There's one person watching already. I bet that's
Where do
James.
I look?
Oh,
the
more than
camera.
likely it's
Yeah.
James.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Hang on. There we go.
Bloody.
Oh, you guys have swapped positions again. That sounds wrong.
No!
That's what she said. Sorry.
I was on top last time, now I'm not on top anymore.
Oh, no. I popped out the chat and I can't find it. There we go.
I
Is
need
this show going
glasses.
to be full of sexual innuendos?
No.
Well, James is in. How are you, mate? Hang on. This is the usual. We'll get stuff set up. Oh, I'm... Shit.
You just swore on the internet. That's $1 in the
I
store.
might have to stop this and start it again. It's jumped to normal latency rather than ultra low latency.
What does that mean?
Can you not just change it on
Oh,
the fly?
no, sorry. We are on ultra low latency. It has gone. It's all right. We can keep it going.
Do.
Almost there. Nice and quick tonight.
It is, and we've got links up already. Well, on one page.
Did you put it up or did James put it up?
No, I'm doing it.
Innuendo.
Innuendo.
No, innuendo, not
What's
innuendo.
going in my endo? Come on, you know us, Lynn. You know what's.
I'm worried now.
Children.
Carl's in. How are you, mate?
Carl's the biggest
Can you see
child
the
of
chat
them
from
all.
there?
Hi, Carl.
No, not without my glasses. Oh, they're filthy.
Hang on. Let me just adjust that up a tiddlywid. There we go.
Every time I share the link to the Paranormal Collective, it's like, these are the group rules for posting.
Yeah, I get that, and I started the bloody group up.
That's what I don't understand.
Neither do I.
What are the rules?
Well, I don't post shit, really. There you go. I've sworn twice now at the start of this.
That's $2 in the jar.
It's also possibly us getting barred.
Nah, it wasn't in the first 30 seconds. We're good.
Have you noticed how Fernando's gone really quiet now? Oh no, there's a lady in the room.
It's okay, I'm not a lady. It's fine.
No, I mean, I'm just waiting for everything to get set up. And,
Well, we're good to go. We're just waiting for a few
we're good
people
to
to
go.
come. We've got 4 people in at the moment. So,
Mark is
Mark.
in. How are we?
g'day, guys and gal.
And Gal.
Why is James sorry? Oh, I see. I see. I can read it now. That's fine, James.
Yeah, we have it for everybody tonight. We've got a really, really good one tonight. So, it's going to happen in several stages. So, we're just waiting for a few more people to come in before we kickstart everything off and going.
Several stages of innuendos.
No. Yeah, that's a delayed reaction, that one, so don't stress about that. If you do something stupid, you watch this screen and then you can watch the replay.
We're on live replay. We got Fernando being awkwardly quiet.
no, I'm actually reviewing all of the, for our topic for today. Making sure I got everything in proper. Although I am a big fan of the Big Bang Theory, so I understood that one.
Well, that's all right then. Oh, see, that would have been even better. I could have dressed up as Fernando for Halloween.
Oh, there you go. It just takes a shirt and a Scully for today. Yeah.
Why not
And
me?
glasses. You're good.
Well, no, that was the whole reference to the Big Bang Theory where they dressed up as Sheldon.
Oh, right. I don't watch The Big Bang Theory.
Oh shit!
What?
Oh,
I'm
man.
looking at that one, trying to work, and I go, "Why isn't it changing?" And I realise I'm watching the delayed reaction. So you're going to get bright over there in a minute, while everyone else is seeing you getting blurred out in this one. Sorry, too many screens. So how is everybody? How are you, Carl? How are you, Mark? How are you, James?
Hello, hello. Good morning from New York.
What's it like
Oh,
over
yeah,
there?
it
It's
is
still
morning.
warm, or is it cooling off? He's gone deaf.
Can you hear me? Lynn, we're going to hell.
I don't think you
You're
can.
going to hell.
No, we are. You laughed at it.
God. Can't take him anywhere.
And
No.
we have broken Fernando.
Oh man, this is gonna be a great morning. I could, it is a great day. It is a great way to start off the day for sure.
Well, you still didn't
Oh.
answer my question. How is it? Is it nice and warm there, or is it getting cold?
I swear I didn't hear you ask that. It is. Today is pretty warm.
Yeah.
We've been having cold weather. I mean, honestly, the weather out here in New York is bipolar. So we don't even know what to wear in the morning. We have to like open the window, stick our head out, do the whole.
If it comes back white,
Check
you know
how
it's
it
cold.
Mm. It's 105 with the chance of cocaine.
But yeah. Today is pretty warm. Yesterday was great weather. I actually went to Kings Park again,
Yeah.
and it was, very entertaining. As always, every time I go to Kings Park, it's always something.
I'm trying to get the microphone
Oh,
shadow out of your face.
Yeah, I want to switch Kings Parks. Hey,
Yeah, we've got Kings Park right near the city, but it's not the same as you.
well, I actually went there the other day, and I said to Kerry, yeah, "Let's go," and she's like, "We can't. It's kind of on fire."
Yeah, it was on fire the other day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Lynn got
Well,
Lynn got diverted home today. Oh,
No, I got home.
she got home, but the road, the main road just near where we are.
Jennisab.
I wasn't saying that in case people were watching this, so we didn't know where we. I'm gonna have to
Come to Lynn's house.
bleep
Have
that
some
bit out.
coffee.
It was on fire.
Oh my god, you guys.
Like, go visit Fernando. He's on the 12th floor, third building on the left.
I'm not very good at this.
Yeah. If you guys come to New York, just come to the third floor. I meant 12. I messed up already. There you go.
We'll just meet you at Kings Park. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Oh.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, do you reckon we should kickstart the show, or?
Well, we've got 5 in. I suppose that's better than 1.
Yeah, we'll see. We might not get many more than that. We've had a couple of quiet weeks. We've had a few good weeks, but I suppose we're going to get the quiet with the good. But all right, let's kickstart. Hey guys, how is everybody? We have one hell of a show for you guys tonight, and it's so good a show that we've got Fernando in, we've got Jeremy in, and we have my beautiful wife in as well. So we need a female perspective on some of this, and you're the right person for the job.
I'm a female.
There you
See
go.
that, Fernando? He doesn't call you beautiful now that Lynn's here.
No.
I just met her today, man.
So yeah, what we're going to talk about tonight, well, we're going to start off with a little bit of a story. Now, this started back in 1966, and what it was this man in this little Caribbean island who got very ill very, very quickly, and he passed away. Now, with the traditions and, I guess, with the financial status of this little third world country, people had to be buried within 48 hours. So the hospital did all the proper tests that they did, even to the point of putting a pin on the underside of his eye, check for watering and things like that, and nothing. The old mirror up and check if there was any breathing, none of that. So he was declared legally dead, and he was. They couldn't find a cause because it just came on so quickly, and he was buried. Now, that would normally be the end of it, but 18 years later, he turned up in a marketplace, and he saw his sister, and he went up to her, introducing himself, and said, "It's me," and she was like, "Can't be." And then he used a childhood nickname that only the two of them knew, and at that point she knew exactly what the deal was and that it was him. And as a result of that, he was our first definite case of a zombie. Now, we're not talking your flesh-eating, brain-eating zombies that you see in all the films, but we'll get to all of that sort of stuff later in the show. But I thought I wanted to start off what happened in reality. Now, apparently this guy had upset a boko, which is a voodoo witch doctor, and what they do is they have this powder which is called, well, they call it zombie powder, I suppose. I don't know what the actual name for it is in Haitian, but basically it's that powerful that it can be blown in your face and it can cause death. It can be just brushed on your skin, it can cause death. It's that powerful that they can sprinkle it on the floor in front of your door, and if you walk on it, it can get absorbed through the heels of your feet and can kill you. Now, when I say kill you, it doesn't actually kill you. It slows your breathing down so it's indistinguishable. Your heart rate almost stops, and for all intents and purposes, all reactions are gone. You are dead. But what this guy, Clairview Narcisse, I believe his name was, he could see and he could feel everything, but he couldn't communicate, he couldn't respond, he couldn't even blink. His eyes wouldn't even dilate. So when that doctor put that pin in his eye, he felt every single bit of it, but could not react. Then he was buried alive, and they put the nails in the coffin. Now, within 2 days of him being buried, the boko, the witch doctor, and his henchmen, I suppose, dug him up. Yes, they dug him up 2 days later, and what happened was he was carted off and taken to this sugarcane place where he spent the next 18 years working the fields. This boko had, what he did was when he found these people, he would kill them and then dig them up. Nobody was looking for them because they were dead. They were taken down to work his sugarcane fields. And what happened was this special drug that he used to feed them each and every day as part of their food kept them in this zombified state. So they would just do whatever he wanted, and they wouldn't go looking to escape or anything like that. Now, eventually, apparently, when this guy died, obviously, this powder was not being prepared, so they all started to come out of their zombification, and then they started trying to re-interact. But this guy, Clairview Narcisse, is the original one. Now, there was a film created about it. Well, first off, there was a book, and then there was a film created called The Serpent and the Rainbow. Now, it's a little bit different to the real case. In the real case, obviously, he is what he is. And what happened was, in the real case, they when it made the papers and everything about him being back alive, it made its way to America, and of course a lot of these pharmaceutical companies wanted to find out what this drug was and how it could be used for anesthetic type purposes. So they sent a investigative reporter over there to try and find the contacts to get a sample of this powder to take back to the States. And ultimately, he did get that, and they were only able to identify a few of the ingredients, and that being like a detoxin, which is, you know, from the puffer fish, and there was human bone, ground human bone found in there, and there was 2 or 3 other things which I can't remember all the details. Now, if you watch The Serpent and the Rainbow, they changed the details up. You know, it's National Geographic, and he's sent over to get the same stuff, but it is a truly scary film because it's based in reality, and they actually show you what this guy goes through, and then shows later on when he's come back alive. Obviously, it's been shortened down for the film, but the basics were all there. Now, that is a fully documented case, and then while looking into these real-life cases, you have the case of a little boy, I think it was Argentina, and again, this has nothing to do with voodoo, this one, but this little boy died, and he was declared dead. Same thing, he was all prepared for the funeral and stuff like that, and they were taking him into the funeral ceremony. He had the open coffin and stuff like that, so the family could all, you know, pay their respects and things like that, when, of all things totally unexpected, in the middle of the funeral, the boy sat up in his coffin, turned around, and was, "Daddy, I want a glass of water." Everybody freaked out, and they were like, "Oh, what?" So the dad went to get the glass of water because his son was alive and everything like that. And while he was doing that, the boy laid back down in his coffin. When they got back, he was dead.
Oh, wow.
Now, he was then, obviously the family go, "He's not dead, there's just something wrong with him." They took him from the funeral, out of his coffin, back to the hospital, where they spent another week trying to revive him. But the doctor was saying, "He's dead, there's no one to revive, you know, there's nothing to revive." And he never, ever woke up again. So from somebody who's been dead for a while to waking up like that, what caused that? Right? So they're 2 real life cases. They're not zombie flesh-eating monsters and things like that you see in all the films. But where we're going to go with tonight's conversation is we are going to delve into all of that sort of thing as well. And we will get a female's perspective on some of it. And we will be opening the lines up later on if anybody wants to come in and say anything either. But this is going to be a good little conversation starter. So we've lost everybody down to 2 people. Wow, we scared everybody off.
That's the thing, guys, you were saying there with the whole flesh-eating zombies. The zombies have appeared back in literature since 1697. And they were never the cannibalistic fiends running around chasing people. It was always something more believed upon, described as spirits or ghosts.
Yeah.
And people have that misconception that it's all flesh-eating and bad.
There's also a lot of cases of people where they've been buried and then they dig them up for whatever reason, and there's the scratch marks on the inside of their coffin.
That's why they introduced the bell and had the term the dead ringer.
Or Saved by the Bell. That was the other thing. That was another one from the same. And that goes into the zombie lore as well, which we're not talking about tonight. But they're very closely tied together, and I suppose they're both undead. But then you look at so you got the historic type things with those kind of zombies and everything. But then you can look at the modern world today and the drugs. You know, they've got that. There's one going around called the zombie drug, which I think uses that fentanyl or something like that.
You see those people every now and again, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just walking.
But just to take you in a different direction, when we're talking about actual flesh-eating zombies, this is a case. It was in America, so it could be around the corner from you, Fernando, where this guy was so messed up, and they believe it was truly like a fentanyl type thing or something. He was basically half stripped naked, and he started attacking people and biting them and chewing them and stuff like that, to the point where the police were involved, and he kept doing a runner And the last one that they got before they actually ended up killing him was he jumped over this wall, and there was these people walking through a park somewhere. So I don't know if it was Central Park or something. I don't know, but he literally jumped straight on and just started tearing at these people with his face, and he was covered in blood, and he actually killed this woman. And police had to shoot him. I think it was like 6 times to put him down. And that's about as close to a flesh-eating zombie as you would know for real.
Yeah.
We are having like a very bad fentanyl problem here, especially here in New York. And like when these guys do that drug, they are completely like out of it. Like
Yeah.
you would see them, and they're like, the way they're standing, the way they move. I mean, it is something from The Walking Dead, like like these. But apparently there has been a lot of cases where there are people, even like how you said, attacking others, chewing off faces and all this and that. But as far as it being like a zombie drug,
it's not a zombie drug, but it creates a state of mind where they pretty much appear as you would expect a zombie to appear.
I mean, apparently just a little dose of fentanyl could kill you. So I mean, for them to be this intoxicated to the point where they're chewing people, I mean, it would seem like they're pretty much are zombies. Like in my case, like this fentanyl is really bad out here. I could walk 2 blocks from my house and I'll come across on the sidewalks all over the place, just people just zombied out, and it's pretty sad.
See,
it's pretty sad for sure.
We don't have that much around here. I've never.
No.
We've seen some pretty messed up people, haven't we? But
you go driving around at night, you'll see people that are out walking something off.
Yeah.
Oh look, they had a bit of an epidemic here with bath salts as well. Nothing compared to the US.
Yeah, bath salts. Yeah,
or monkey dust, they called it in the UK.
What's this flucker that Carl's talking about?
Flucker was just as bad.
Yeah.
That was same sort of idea.
But on the topic of zombies, apparently there is something that people are worried about due to this whole issue with climate change, and it is more due to with fungus.
You've seen that film, that TV show as well, Cordyceps.
Well, yes. Yep. From The Last of Us, of course. But yeah, this issue, and in getting increased as far as the probability is concerned, and even the CDC issued out I guess a pamphlet or something on how we could survive a zombie apocalypse.
It's funny you mentioned that, because did you know that the American Strategic Command have actually got a contingency plan in place for a zombie breakout?
Yeah.
If you want to look it up, look up Con Plan 8888. Now, it was originally set up as a training exercise for up and coming people in the military about how to strategize for certain scenarios and things. So they said, with them being young people, let's do something down their alley. So they came up with a zombie apocalypse, and the amount of information that they got from that, they were actually able to punch the same variables into several different types of breakouts and things like that, So it has actually now been put into an active development stage in the Pentagon, and they actually broke. There's 6 stages to the plan, from identification and trying to, maintain and quash it, to full blown. There's a pandemic of zombies and stuff like that, and what to do in that scenario. And the fact that the Americans have actually, the American military, not the Americans, but any military, I guess, have actually put a plan into place, makes you think about what they foresee later down the future. You know, because one of they categorize several types of zombie and stuff like that. Now, the main one that we all know is the pathogenic zombie, which is, you know, they've got the zombie virus and how to deal with that. But they go into several different other scenarios, like magic zombies, you know, that have been magically turned into zombies. I suppose that could be voodoo type stuff. And then they've got space zombies. If something, have you ever seen that TV show from the 80s? The one where the Night of the Comet, where the comet flies over and pretty much everybody gets turned to dust, and those who don't get turned to dust, about 80% of them turn into zombie type creatures. And that's as a result of a celestial body flying over the top. So they've covered that. They're obviously getting them from a lot of these movies. And then they've got what was the other one? The other big one that's... I can't remember the other big one that they go to, but infestation type stuff where you've got a symbiont or something in your body controlling you, which is very much like the film, the Body Snatchers and things like that. So they're covering a lot of these sort of things, and then they're throwing a couple of wild cards in there, like vegetarian zombies. They don't eat you, but they eat all the veggies, and the problem is, when they touch them, they then infect them, which means we end up with a food and a water supply issue. And we
have that problem already. They're called vegans.
We're getting cancelled.
Gail, how would you be then?
Would you like to say something?
I don't have anything to say at the moment.
You go.
How would you be though if you had 3 medical conditions: rabies, leprosy, and dysphagia?
I don't even know what that last one is.
You would be classified as a zombie. Well, leprosy, you got
bits falling off,
and your limbs are falling off. You've got rabies, so you go around biting other people and foaming at the mouth. And then you have dysphagia, which is a disorder affecting the motor controls of human speech. So you'd be walking around going, ah. You'd be screwed.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I work with a few slow people.
Well, you didn't let me get to the last one, which is zombie chickens.
Oh, I have heard about this.
For real.
I haven't.
Yeah. And that's because when you cut the head off a chicken, they still run around for a while. But what happened was there was some chickens that were infected with something, so they were all burnt and everything. But apparently some of them still got up and walked around even though they were burnt. And
how terrifying would that be if you cooked that chicken and started walking around the table?
every chicken does it when you cut the head off. Every single one.
Dinner's running out the window.
That's why you peg their legs to the clothesline. They can't run anywhere.
But you know how we were talking about real stuff, right?
Yeah.
This one is probably the scariest one of them all, and
Scarier than the chicken walking around the dinner table.
Yeah, I've already told you about this one, and you went, "Yeah, that's pretty freaky." Now, we all know about nanobots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nanotechnology, where tiny little things, and they're actually, we're all practicing with them and everything. Oh,
We're not.
We're not. No, government and stuff like that. They're working out how to do things to fix. And what they did was they injected some into a mouse, and this mouse ended up dying. But these nanobots were continually trying to repair it and bring it back to life. So even though it was brain dead and its heart had stopped pumping, these nanobots kept it moving in a reanimated kind of zombie-like way, right? Do you know how long it took before it finally died?
How long?
28 days.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
That's a very good movie too. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. If you look at that in relation to your traditional zombies, those are just people with a mad disease. They're still technically alive, even though they're mad. And it's interesting watching a lot of these stories about how to deal with zombie cases and things like that, because every film, we all know, destroy the brain or the brain stem or something like that. And They actually
Thank you,
said,
James.
well, yeah, that will destroy it, but if you're in a flight or, fright or flight, whatever you call it, situation,
Fight or flight.
you can shoot the legs and things like that, and it slows them down, and there's different things you can do. So
Yeah, I mean, we as humans, these scientists, they're always, meddling within things that should be left alone. I found a good article on a website, Medical News Today, and it's talking about different types of real zombie species.
Mhm.
So there is a zombie ant,
yep,
and it's basically
cordyceps.
yes, there you go. I mean, it's a long word that I don't think my mouth is able to pronounce this word correctly, but it basically turns other ants into zombies.
Yeah.
Ants become compelled to climb to the top of elevated vegetation. So I guess that fits with what you were saying with vegans eating all the plants instead of humans. But it is due to a type of fungus.
Yes.
So I remember a couple of years ago, I came across this YouTube video, and it was basically explaining how the 10 different ways the world is going to end.
Mhm.
And I believe one of them is meteor, the other one is AI, the other one, well, eventually there is a possibility of a zombie apocalyptic outbreak scenario. And a
So
lot of
there's three of my favorite movies right there. You've got
Which one?
Armageddon, you've got The Terminator, and you've got World War Z.
That wasn't too bad.
There you go. Yeah. So it is, technically speaking, people don't take this serious because of Hollywood, but this could actually happen,
Yeah.
especially if you dabble within fungus.
Yeah, we all like to dabble with a bit of fungus.
Necrosis also takes a part in that as well.
What was that?
Necrosis.
Well, there's another thing that came up as well today, and they talked about it, and I don't know anything about it, but they were just saying prions. It's some sort.
Prion.
Yeah, if you look into that, apparently it's much like fungus, in that you can't do any kind of antibacterial, antibiotics, and there's no way to fight it. There's none of this. Prions are exactly the same, but they affect the brain, and they can create certain things. Now, I don't know much about that, but there was a few sites on that. And just to jump in, James has actually posted a link for Conplan 8888 in the WAPA page if anybody wants to have a look. And yes, James, the lights are set in a voice activated mode as well, or sound activated, but you'll see that they go all disco-y behind us when we talk, and then they just go into a sort of a passive mode when we're not.
So
I swear, Gary has all the good toys.
he does.
Gary has a patient wife.
Yes,
So-
I have a very
talking
good
about-
wife.
Yeah, and Lynn's also.
Talking about the Complan 8888. Look, I've had a contingency plan put in place as well after watching a great movie. And we'd take Pete's car, drive over to Mum's. We'd go in, take care of Philip. I'm sorry, Philip. And we grab Mum. We go over to Lizzie's place, hold up.
that
have
is a
cup of tea,
brilliant
and wait for
film.
this whole thing to blow over.
Let's go to the
That is
pub.
The best zombie film of all time.
Have you seen that one, Fernando?
No, I haven't.
Oh, mate,
you've got-
seriously,
you've got red on you.
this weekend you have to watch Shaun of the Dead.
Oh no, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. Yes.
That's yeah. We'll have a nice cold pint. We'll go to the Winchester, have a cold pint, and wait for it all to blow over.
I still think the best scene from that is where they start throwing all the records at them out the back.
Yeah.
No, not AC/DC. Abba, throw it.
I mean,
Oh.
as of right now, between you guys, I am creating a list of movies I'm gonna watch on Halloween. I'm gonna do like a horror marathon, and I'm just so keep on throwing movies out there. I will shut them all down.
Well, I definitely recommend The Serpent and the Rainbow. Like I said, it's not
That's
it's
the first one I'm gonna watch.
it's not a It's not an action-packed, full-on
It's not
blood
very
and
big
guts.
budget either,
It's
is it?
not really a big budget one. Like I said, it's one of Bill Pullman's earlier films, but the fact that it's based on a real case always adds a little bit to any of these kind of movies. But
Yes.
this one, it's just, I don't know, there's that one scene where they get the nail and I'll let you watch it and see for yourself. But yeah, that's a scary scene for any.
No.
If everybody's watched Chucky, you know that scene where the knife comes up through the car seat? It's as scary as that. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm already sold. I'm gonna watch it. These guys should pay you because they just market it.
Yeah. And, you know, getting back onto zombies and stuff like that, you look at all the cases of different, well, what's that film? There's an English film where they end up coming up with a cure for cancer, and pretty much everybody lines up to get this injection, and it's not doomsday, it's one of those kind of things, and then they all end up turning into raging zombies. And again, it's an English one about dealing with the zombie apocalypse the English way. It's nowhere near as funny as Shaun of the Dead, but it's interesting, and a lot of them reckon that the zombie apocalypse is going to be started by man and not a natural phenomenon. That being said, when you look at the way nanotechnology deals with different things and what have you, they do say that if you look at the permafrost and everything and how it's starting to melt, what happens then is any pathogens that may have been stuck in the ice may come back to life, and we could be dealing with a virus that was here a long time ago, but because it's been gone for so long, we just don't have any kind of idea how to deal with it, and our bodies don't have any way of fighting it, and they reckon it could wipe men out really quick. Yeah, I Am Legend, that's another good one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. That's what I was saying on earlier, Gary. You wouldn't have a zombie like as such like that because of necrosis.
Yeah.
And as scientists have gone backwards and forwards actually talking about it, the way the body tissue dies off, it's physically impossible.
Well, this is one of the things that when they were talking about this Conplan 8888, their contingencies were, you know, initial containment, and then it moves out. The whole plan comes to an end within 2 years, simply because of the fact that they do believe that body decomposition, that they won't be able to move, they'll die off, and within 2 years, it should have burnt itself out, not like The Walking Dead, which can go for 10, 11 seasons or whatever it is.
See, I say this to you all the time, the Walking Dead zombies, I reckon we'd be okay with.
Yeah, the walking slow ones
Because
are
they're
alright.
really slow, like, you just walk a bit faster.
I want the Zombieland zombies.
What about World War Z zombies, man?
Yeah,
they're all
World War
like
Z
parkour
ones.
specialists and Olympic sprinters. We're all stuffed in that.
Yeah, we're done with World War Z zombies. There's no surviving that.
No.
No.
At least with Zombieland zombies, you could have some fun with them.
Have you ever seen that
I mean,
film?
with the Walking Dead zombies, yeah.
Have you ever
sure.
seen that film Warm Bodies?
Yes.
Where
No.
the reason
I've
the
read the
reason
book.
the reason why zombies eat the brains is because obviously they're zombies, but when they eat the brains, they get the memories of the person whose brains they've ate, and it gives them a little bit of stimulation. Now, the basis behind this film is this one zombie kills this guy and eats his brains, and he gets all these flashes of the guy's girlfriend or partner, and then he sees her and he has the same impulses, and this zombie starts to fall in love with the woman who's still alive, and slowly he starts to come back to life. And
Holy crap.
it's a completely different show because you've got different levels of zombies in that as well. You've got your zombies, and then you've got your totally messed up, mutated kind of really bad zombies. But it's an interesting take, and it's not a scary film, that one. It's more of a comedy, sort of almost romance kind of thing, isn't it?
I haven't even read the book. I don't know about the movie.
It's actually rated horror romance.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Gary was saying what you're saying about eating the brains and getting memories. There was a short TV series, I think it was like 2 or 3 seasons long, called iZombie.
Yeah,
And same thing, she was helping police officers out, eating brains, getting flashbacks and memories, and
picking up their habits like stealing stuff and whatever. Yeah, I watched that. Not all of it, but I watched the first couple of seasons, I think.
It was very well made.
Yeah, but no, it's Elon is developing a brain implant. Yeah, and this is what's getting scary, is all the stuff they're starting to mess around with brains and stuff.
Well, to be honest, if you're worried about brain implants and that's nothing to worry about. I'm worried about that Mr. Bill Gates and his AI cities and all the other weird stuff that he's into.
I believe that was number 2 of how the world is going to end. But, you know, I'm just...
Hello, baby.
No, it was. No, it was.
The first one is a meteor hit that's going to end the world. The second one was definitely
Okay.
AIs. And then the third one on is a little bit, you know, with nature and so on and so forth. But
Well,
yeah.
technically, that meteorite hit falls under Complan 8888 because they do have a classification for space zombies. And that's, you know, pathogens that could come in on an asteroid or something like that. And how do you deal with something that's not from our planet, you know what I mean? Because with antibiotics, you've got to find the source and then you deal with it. But when you've got something that's come in from outside of our planet, you may not have the ability to produce an active, you know, vaccination or, you know.
But let's be honest, if that happens, the people who have the money are just going to rub their hands together because they're like, well, population's decreasing, we're good.
Well, that's another thing that... See, the first thing that they say, and, you know, you watch Walking Dead and all those things, you always see them trying to get out of the city and you see these big traffic jams of people, and what they're saying is if there's a zombie outbreak, you're going to hit these traffic jams and you're just zombie bait right there and then. I said the best thing you can do is buckle down where you are. The first thing you do is fill up everything with water. You fill your bath up, you fill all your sinks up, even the bloody toilets if you need to, and try and conserve food. The first thing is to get through the first 2 weeks. At that point then power will start to fail unless you've got a nuclear power plant close by, and then you obviously need to start looking. Water treatment plants will start breaking down and things, so that they'll start becoming more unreliable. So I'm assuming this is somebody in New York and one of the big cities, because what they said is the first thing you do, go to the top of a skyscraper, because while the power might go, the lifts will be out. They said you've got a hell of a lot of stairs to walk up, but so have zombies. So they'll get so far, oh, bugger this, and we'll go back down. But that only gets you through the first 2 weeks, and what they say is a lot of those have lots of buildings with businesses and stuff like that, which have kitchens and they have food and stuff like that. So you can raid all of those and water, and build yourself a nest for a couple of weeks. But then what happens is, as things start breaking down, fires start, and then they said you have to go and head down into suburbia and find food storage places that haven't already been ransacked. Then you've got to deal with zombie outbreaks, and then what you've got to deal with is those looters and the those people that form their own little posses and whatever, that can be as bad as the zombies themselves. But what they say is, funny enough, what happens is the zombies will follow the hordes out through these traffic ways and freeways and stuff like that. So they reckon there'll only be a few stragglers in the main cities at that point, because most of them will have followed where the food's going. And again, what you were saying is they will slowly start to deteriorate and go downhill, and it's just a matter of then you've got to go this and that. And if you actually read through some of it, it's quite interesting, and makes you wonder how much you actually know about surviving a zombie apocalypse.
Not enough.
No.
We don't have enough skyscrapers either.
No, not here.
That's all right. The first thing I'll be going is straight out to farmland. That's it. You've got dams, you've got water, you got food.
But this is the thing, right? How do you know a zombie hasn't died in the water and then, or landed in the water and then affected the water source? That's what the saying is. That's why you need to store as much water as you can, because...
And you've got rainwater tanks.
And that's what they say. Use rainwater and things like that rather than water sources from dams and things like that, because they're unreliable. And then it goes down to, you go for wildlife and stuff, how do you know that they haven't been through something and got infected by stuff? It's quite scary when you actually look into the whole thing.
So I've got that redneck side of me going, let's get a car, chase them down and shoot them.
He's been watching too much Zombieland. That's what you've been doing. Telehouse.
Honestly, here in New York, like there'll be little survivors, and not really due to zombies, but the outbreak of everybody around here just going crazy and taking advantage of the situation. It'll be complete chaos, especially around where I'm at.
Yep.
I mean, like within 3 blocks, there's a good well over like 2,000 people. So we're just, and half of them are already zombies with fentanyl. But yeah, I have a very short survival.
That's why you
I mean,
moved
for
here.
sure. Yes,
Moved here
yes.
before.
Yes, and in the summer, Lynn, in the summer, I'll be saying hi to you guys. Hopefully, I'll go and say hi to you guys.
Hang on,
He's one-
the summer
he's one-
your time or the summer our
Nice.
time? Because I got a feeling you might melt.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm actually I like the Caribbean weather, so
Yeah, but that's nothing.
if I don't melt out there,
All right.
I'll be
In-
I'll be good.
What's the temperature that you're happy with?
Happy is different from comfortable.
Come on.
So,
Don't-
hey, average days here, we can get to like 109 Fahrenheit.
That's in summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Summer.
summer, yeah.
All right, so I'll be seeing you guys like in fall.
Yeah, it gets
No, for
warm.
sure.
So you want like what, 73 degrees?
Between comfortable 75, 80.
Oh,
Well,
God. No, that's,
need-
What's
Being-
that in Celsius?
About what, 26 degrees
20,
Celsius
25.
roughly?
it's
25,
warmer.
26.
It's warmer than that now, and
Yeah.
it's only spring here.
Yeah.
We had 35
Yeah,
degrees the other day, which is just under 100.
Yeah, 95.
Oh wow. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll be good. I think especially to survive a zombie outbreak. I think I have better chances where you guys are at.
Yo, 100% you will.
Oh, but
sure.
but I now sound like an Indian person, don't I? But. We're gonna get banned in India now.
When
Sorry.
you married him.
Anyway,
Grow up,
where I was going with that is you take on the COVID situation, right? We dealt with it really well to start off with,
I was just going to say that.
and that would work for any kind of pathogen. The same setup.
Right.
We isolated ourselves, and it does help that we are the most isolated capital city on the planet. But
But the heat had
But-
had something to do with it as well, didn't it?
yeah, but if you have things like what sort of temperatures these things thrive in and stuff, and what temperatures get too hot, what you were talking about before with the cordyceps and stuff, they actually reckon that if that was to jump to humans, they could control it up to a certain point before it actually breaks out. So, because with ants, they just don't realise that these growths are happening, even though I don't think they fully thought it out when they were thinking about it, but even though their brains are affected by it, and they just go back and infect the whole ant colony, and then they go out and keep it all going. But with humans, they reckon that when you see something, you could break it off, and that you identify something, and then you can try and deal with it. But obviously, antivirals don't work, antibiotics don't work. So how you deal with it, I don't know, because whatever you see on the surface, you don't know what's happening inside the body. And if you've watched that, The Last of Us, when they come up to somebody and they open their mouth and that big sort of anemone thing comes out, yeah. So you don't know what's going on inside, and obviously they don't know what's going on with the brain either, because obviously it does affect the ants, so it could do the same thing with us. So that's a bit of a flaw in their logic when they're coming up with these things, because they're all unknowns at the moment, so we just don't know what's happening.
I mean, after doing so much research, it's not just ants. There's zombie spiders, and unfortunately, it's all down south. Like we're talking about Ecuador, this zombie spider was discovered in Ecuador,
Yeah.
and it's basically how a spider could infect other species. And it's
Well, if you're looking at an actual case studies and things like that, they believe that mad cow disease is the closest pre-runner to a zombie virus out there. And obviously England, they had the big outbreak of it, which they were able to keep it from passing into humans, I think, but obviously they killed a lot of livestock, and as a result of that, livestock from the UK was banned for a long time. Now, I actually lived over there when that outbreak happened, and when I came over here, because I'd lived in England for more than 12 months through that period, I had a lifetime ban basically on giving blood. I'm not allowed to give blood. They've actually just lifted that now, I think earlier this year or last year, they actually stopped that so I can give blood again. But they do believe that that has the potential, because obviously it can cross over into humans, and then where it could go from there could be very scary. And I can't remember the details that they went through in the studies that I was watching, but the progression of it does sound like something that is logical. And
So what makes it the closest to a zombie virus?
well, you have to watch the video to find out. I'm not an expert, and I could get it all wrong when I start to say it, and I don't want to say things when they're completely wrong, you know.
So Mark, saying what you said with Australia as an island, world zombie apocalypse, we would kick ass. I wouldn't count your chickens before they hatch. We couldn't win a war against the emus.
And COVID did get us in the end. What about the cane toads? The cane toads are invading WA now.
Are they? Let's get the golf clubs and bags of salt.
Cane toads.
Lynn knows because she's spent a lot of time in Queensland.
About going cane toading.
Oh, they're disgusting.
So Fernando, what they would do is in Queensland and Cairns and at places like that, they would actually, well, some people would actually go out at night time with flashlights and golf clubs. They're a pest and a species that really needs to just be killed off. And they just go around hitting them with golf clubs, as a golf ball. Or they would put them in bags of salt and they'd react with it and die.
Funny enough, you mentioned salt there, because one of how we went back to the guy in Haiti that was a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were saying is that as long as they were being fed this drug on a regular basis, it maintained this zombie-like temperament of them. But one of the things they did say is that a high concentration of salt could actually overcome this drug.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some came out and then they were actually killed off for real. But it wasn't until the Boko died and they weren't having these drugs prepared, so they all started to come out of it and did their thing. But it's curious because salt seems to be showing up in a lot of stuff, doesn't it? You watch things like they say the cleansing properties of salt. You create a ring of salt around yourself, protects you from evil spirits and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. Be interesting to read into it and find out what actually works with it.
I had a quick look at what they found in that powder that was made as well. There was a lot of weird stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of dead animals.
And the other thing is
toads, everything.
But the thing is, right, these Bokos, these witch doctors, they tended to all have their own ingredients. So no two Boko created it all exactly the same. Obviously, you would assume a lot of the same kind of things would go into them, but there are certain plants around that have the same properties as the toxin from the pufferfish. And that for itself, that's a delicacy in Japan. You have to actually be licensed to prepare that stuff because it can kill you.
Yeah, so that's the tetrodotoxin.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's weird. Like, you've got tree frogs that they've used in it, marine toads.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for the Haitian zombie powder, but
The Haitian,
some weird stuff.
Yeah.
So aside from insects, from salts, from plants. So apparently, and there's even an article that came out this year talking about how scientists dug where is it? How scientists found and dug into a 30,000-year-old ice capsule or something that contained what they're calling it a giant viruses, which is something that can cause zombie-like features in it.
Is that referring to the permafrosts and stuff that I was talking about earlier?
I believe so.
It's scary what the potentials are there, you know.
Why would they dig into that?
It's not a matter of I mean, they do, but you've got to well, they look at it, it's medical things. They look at what they can find to use as medicine to beat the next big thing that's going to happen. But what they don't realise is that they could be opening the world up to some really scary stuff that they've got no idea how to deal with. And then you throw on top of that global warming, so now the ice caps are melting and the permafrosts are starting to defrost. And the problem with that is if one of these viruses suddenly reactivates, it could be anywhere and you wouldn't know where it is. And by the time you get any kind of inkling that something's happening, it's already got a foothold in humanity. So it's another. I know it's a silly sort of sideways look of global warming and stuff like that, but that's another scary point that you just have to be aware of.
That is for sure. And it's, I honestly, I think out of the 10 ways the world is going to end, at least 7 of them is due to scientists dabbling in things that they shouldn't be dabbling in.
Definitely.
See, I don't know. It's just I don't see as the permafrost melting is going to be something that's going to happen in the next 200 years.
We just don't know what's around the corner, and not just a matter of it defrosting. You've got to remember, if they're digging stuff up, they could be. You just don't know. That. You know what I mean?
I do get that, but like with the ice caps and everything else, in the last 100 years, the sea levels maybe been lucky to reach 6 inches in 100 years. I can't see that being an issue in the next, 200 to 300 years.
Now, where you? Sorry,
maybe
you
not in our lifetime for sure.
I did.
Oh, well, it definitely won't be in our lifetime.
What about space travel? What about when these crafts come back? Could they not bring something back?
Yeah, and we already talked about that. Space zombies.
Yeah, but that was meteors. But like, could we? We're kind of on the subject of humans being the cause of our own demise, aren't we? Whether it's going into permafrost, scientists, just because they're assholes. As soon as something happens, we could go out there and bring something back. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and have you guys watched that film? It's a Nicole Kidman film, which has got Daniel Craig in it as well, which gives it some kind of credit. It balances it out a little bit. But it's called Invasion, and it's a very similar kind of thing to the original 1970s film with Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy called The Body Snatchers. It's the same sort of thing. What happens is something collides with the space shuttle, and that has some sort of an alien virus, which then infects the astronauts. They come back down to Earth, and then they've gone through their decontamination. It's really bad tonight.
It's the parasites in your modem, zombifying.
It's the Scientologists.
Oh, you just said it now.
Oh no! Little Tom Cruise is running around your bloodstream.
Ew.
If you see me start jumping on lounges and things, then you know I'm too far gone.
Really a bit of a
sliding
wanker.
down the hallway in shirt and socks.
I mean, we've said science pretty much the whole entire podcast.
Yeah, look, hey, surely there's something written with Scientology and zombies. Scientologists are annoying enough as it is, but imagine having them as zombies chasing you. Like, it's...
What you got to realise is that most Scientologists are pretty much brain dead as they are anyway, so that it is like a zombie cult.
It's just an alien religion, isn't it? Don't they believe the aliens are
zombies? And it's going around now as a pandemic, and I don't know if you can see, but these things here zombify a lot of people.
So true.
Oh,
And everyone's so caught up what's going on with social media, and they're just numbing their brains with useless junk.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
We out here we actually have to be careful driving because there's people that would cross the street not looking no way, just down to their phones.
No, it's the same here. Same here.
How many deaths in the US was there when Pokemon Go was released? People getting hit by cars and whatnot.
I have no idea. I didn't. I have no idea how much.
It was no. Well, there was that the injury rates now were that high and bad that Niantic, the people that actually made the game, had to put warnings about paying attention when crossing roads and everything else with this playing.
Oh, it was terrible when it came out. I remember because I used to work in the city when that first hit the trend and everything. And I was walking down to get lunch one day, and I'm walking down St George's Terrace, which is like one of the main streets in Perth. And there was people, like, I'm talking about businessmen, businesswomen, and everybody. They were all looking up in the middle, and I'm like, looking up, and I go, oh, is there something flying over? Is there a flying saucer I can't see? What is it? And I said, excuse me, what's everybody looking at? And they go, it's a new super powerful Pokemon. And they're all,
Oh,
come on, man. This guy looks like he could be a high-powered lawyer, and he's Pokemon going, and there's people all around looking up with the phones trying to find this thing. And I thought, oh my god, is this
like you just gave me like an image of? Did you guys ever see the movie Ready Player One?
one of my all-time
That was
favorites?
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys like it? That's I've seen it like 5 times this week already. But anyway, like
Sounds like
towards
you.
the end of the movie where everybody is in the street just fighting
Yeah.
and looking,
Yeah. Actually,
that's the image you gave me right there.
that brings something else to mind as well. Have you ever seen the film The Happening with
Yes.
Mark Wahlberg, whatever you want to call him? The one where people just start falling off the buildings and stuff, and it all turns out it's to do with the plants.
Yes.
That's there is a drug or a pollen kind of thing that certain plants give off that can have the same effect as a lot of these things that we've been talking about. And if you're talking cordyceps or something similar to that, and you get infected by some of those and it affects your brain, that then, because that film, it did seem silly, but when you take these facts and put it back to it, that makes it then a completely different sort of movie.
Well, from the Medical News Today article, so I already mentioned the first one was zombie ants. The second one was zombie spiders. The third one was, curious people digging into places where they shouldn't. But the fourth one is zombie plants.
Yeah.
And I think as Baby also said that there is a plant or a vine of some sort as well.
Yeah.
Where is it? There's a blood-sucking vine or plant, not the Venus flytrap. Apparently that has an effect as well.
You know what the scary thing about when we're talking about plants and we talk about The Last of Us and what have you, is that, well, one, you've got all these different zombie type creatures, but the scary part about that, which is specific to that franchise alone, is that you can step on a vine on one part of the city and then every other thing connected to that vine knows what's happening. So you could step on one vine thinking you're all alone in the city, and you could be doing a wake-up call for 5,000 of these zombie things, and they all come at you all at once, and they know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
That is a scary thing, because how often do you walk and you're not paying attention to what you're standing on in relation to like plants and stuff? I know that's a bad thing to say,
But for now, going back to the Pokemon Go deaths, there's been 24 deaths and 62 injuries since that game's been released.
Oh boy. I mean, I haven't
that's in the
heard it
US.
in a long time, so I'm just assuming they canceled that.
I thought you were going to say they sort of killed themselves off.
You look at some of them as like, and I'm going off topic here. You look at some of them as like, Pokemon Go player was hunting Pikachu and was knifed in the neck after he refused to give a stranger $5 in a cigarette. What is wrong
Was
with
that here in New York? I see the icon. Was
He
that here in New York?
could have been.
Yeah. People out here are crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
there's people that have not been paying attention walking across railroad tracks just because they're so zombified on their phones, and like they're losing legs
Yeah.
because they've been hit by a train.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
There's a film out there. No, I did start to watch it, but I never watched the end of it. It was an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but it's one with the difference. I can't even remember the name of it. So if anybody's seen this and it rings a bell, let us know what it's called. His daughter has actually been bitten by a zombie, and it's about him trying to. I'm getting feedback from somebody. It's about him trying to deal with her and trying to. She's not a zombie yet, but she's in that getting sick stage. So I've never seen the end of it to see if she actually does turn into a zombie. But he's just a dad. He's not this big action hero. He's just a dad worried about his daughter.
Is that called Maggie?
It could be. I can't remember what the name of it is, but
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
yeah,
Yeah, Maggie.
yeah. From what I saw of it, it was good, but there's certain things that I just don't know. Thank you, baby. It sounds wrong saying it like that, doesn't it?
Should have seen the look that Lynn just gave you.
You're my darling.
I'm joking.
I didn't realise you called Jeremy baby, but anyway.
Lynn is not that petty.
He's
No,
doing,
really
he's
not.
doing
On
some
the
shirts
internet.
up for us, so we call him whatever he wants to be called at the moment.
I'm what? Sorry?
Whatever you want to be.
No. You said I'm doing something.
I said you're doing up
What-
some shirts.
Am I?
Yes.
What happened?
He's been affected by some sort of zombie virus through his headphones, I think.
Yep. Soul suckers.
Oh man.
But, you know, how much is technology turning people into zombies? Now, you take it to a completely different level, right? You know, I hate religion and stuff, but you bring religion in and they turn around and said, when hell is full, the dead shall walk the earth, and that'll bring on the apocalypse kind of thing. So we've got so many druggies that look like death warmed up. You've got all of this stuff happening in Israel at the moment, which is... I'm tying everything
I'm
in.
reading
Great
Genesis.
distraction.
Oh, shit, Daddy. Which is in the
At least
area
I'm not
that,
mistaken.
like Iran and stuff, that they used to call Armageddon. That's what they used to call that place. So there is conflict happening around Armageddon. And you've completely distracted me now.
Sorry.
Lynn has that effect.
And then you look at Nostradamus, who, when in his quatrains, he talked about seeing the dead walk. And again, he could be completely describing druggies and fentanyl
use
users and yeah. So how close are we to the new age?
Well, they are saying that we are entering a new world.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, yeah, we are.
and
It's been going on for a while already.
and
Oh, yeah.
just to throw this out there, that new Ford Mustang electric is an abomination, and I don't want to be any part of a world with an electric Mustang. I was saying to Lynn just not long ago that when petrol dies out, they should let the Mustang die with dignity.
That's
Oh
the thing,
man.
Gary.
that got to do
Petrol
with
will never
zombies?
die out.
Well, it's going to keep going. They're going to keep it alive artificially. It'll be a zombie Mustang.
Zombie mustard.
It'll be zombie.
Petrol-
Yes, zombie. It'll be
Petrol
zombie.
won't die out because you'll need something to power the charging stations.
Yes, Mark, the New World Order. We've had plenty of talks about that recently.
There's videos going around at the moment of all these nice NRMA charging stations for vehicles that are backed onto big diesel generators. It's absolutely amazing.
One of the other things they were talking, why we're suddenly talking about electric cars now? They said the
Well, you
actual
brought it up.
the weight of an electric car does more damage to the roads than a petrol powered car because of all the weight of the batteries.
Mm.
And then they're going to use big bloody plants that are using diesel and stuff to roll that. Because can you imagine a bloody steamroller or an electric roller? Nah.
Well, they'd be great for taking out people because you wouldn't hear them coming.
Yeah, no, but it'd be like that scene from Austin Powers where they're coming from 20 miles away and he's...
Ah,
yeah.
I was I was more thinking the scene in Weeds where the black guys have got a Prius because it's quiet. They can get drive-bys done real quiet and sneaky.
That's the
Great
worst
video.
getaway car. That's the worst getaway vehicle ever, right there.
Let's get a Domino sign, put it on the roof. You don't have to worry about going too fast.
Jeez. Anyway,
for sure.
we should get back onto zombies for the. Cause we're over our hour again, so we're on track for doing our usual thing. So we're gonna have to wind up in the next 10 minutes or so. So let's get back away from it. You won't be buying us. No, you wouldn't want a second-hand electric car. Electric guitar, yes. Electric car, no.
They do go fast though.
What guitars?
but guitars.
No, the electric cars.
Have you not heard the start to Kickstart My Heart?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it Motley Crue? That's a cool electric guitar. That sounds better than most electric cars. So yeah. Anyway,
That's interesting.
what?
Firemen are not allowed to use To the Jaws of Life on an electric vehicle, which has got nothing to do with zombies, but it's still interesting.
Isn't that to do with lithium batteries and stuff like that?
So you're stuffed,
Yep. The
basically.
heat, the pressures, possibly causing sparks with gases.
So they're just going to leave you there.
So they roll up to the firemen roll up to a crash. There's an electric car. They go hip it and keep going.
Well, that's the same sort of reason that they've got the LPG plates, the little tags that you put on your car plates.
Yep. I've seen so many stories of LPG cars going up.
It happens.
Yeah. But anyway,
Zombies.
we're starting to, yes, we'll blame it all on the zombies and we'll get back onto zombie talk.
Fernando, best zombie of them all, Rob Zombie.
Oh, of course. That's it right there. Right there.
You like Rob Zombie, don't you?
Love Rob
That,
Zombie.
even though like you could see the
Resemblance.
craziness through his films for sure. That's
Yes, he's just got one of those brains that is undead and it works for him.
that's for sure. Yes.
He's certainly
And
in a
actually,
league of his
you know-
own.
Pardon?
He's in a league of his own, that's for sure.
Oh, he is, and he follows that zombiness to a T because of his songs that he's got. Dragula, Living Dead
Sure.
Girl. You know, they're two of his bigger songs.
Two
but
Lane
it's
Black
just
Top.
like- Pardon?
2 Lane Blacktop.
Yeah. I mean, these are classic songs, and his movies for sure fall into the genre of WTF. What did I just see?
All right. Here we go. What is your favourite all-time zombie film?
Me or
Everybody.
You'll get Fernando. He's asking your guest.
okay, all-time zombie. Well, I think we came across it because I really enjoyed how 28 Days was. If anything, that felt more realistic than any other. I could be wrong, but that's my,
Yeah.
the 28 Days.
One thing I
Pretty
will
good.
say about English films compared to American films, and please don't take any offence to this, is
None.
English films seem to be grounded in a more real kind of place, whereas Americans, they beef it up and sensationalise it a little bit. Not that I don't enjoy them. I mean, World War Z is one of my all-time favourites, but for realistic type stuff, I mean, okay, maybe not Shaun of the Dead,
Shaun
but
of the Dead is the
it is a
time,
bloody
though.
brilliant film. It is. That throwing the records scene is sensational, and yeah.
Sure.
But
What about Zomboat?
oh! Have you seen the TV show Zomboat?
Zomboats. What?
I don't think so.
It is one of these two sisters, right? One's like a blonde who'll doink anything that's going around. She's a bit of a bit of a bimbo and all that sort of stuff. And then her sister is a gamer, and she's an absolute nerd. And you can hear her playing this game. This is in the first episode, playing this game, and all the sirens are going off. And then she stops it, and it's actually sirens going off outside. And then she goes and wakes her sister up. who's obviously been sleeping with a guy, and he wakes up and he's a zombie. So they end up doing a runner, and because the nerdy girl has seen all these zombie films and zombie games and things like that, she's the expert, and she goes, well, and I can't put on a Birmingham accent, but she says, zombies can't swim, so let's get down to the river and we'll take a riverboat all the way down to London or somewhere like that. And you know those big long canal boats? They jump on one of them, power the whole thing up, and it's like dugga 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 dugga. They're in the middle of the water going down, but the zombies are doing their walk alongside and keeping up with them. And,
Oh no.
and it's hilarious. They're only little half-hour
It's really
episodes.
stupid, but it's funny.
It is. It's stupid English humour. It's sort of Red Dwarf type humour. But
I'm actually watching the trailer right now. It seems so interesting, and I've never heard of it. I will definitely catch it.
there's two guys in it that are, what would you say, sort of ethnicity are they?
Indian.
Indian type
Yeah.
people, and one gives the other one shit because he reckons he sort of paints his hair on and stuff like that, and how he goes to the gym, and just the different levels of humour at different points with these different groups of people, and it is hilarious. There's one scene where she says, and you got to put the accent. She goes, "We need our zombie outfits because they've run out of the house with like their fluffy bunny slippers and stuff like that on." So they see this shop that's all leather, and they break into it, and you see them walk out, super cool, big long leather trench coats. You know, one of them's dressed like Celine in the Underworld films, and by the time they've walked about 20 steps, they're already shuffling their crutches and stuff like that. She goes, "I'm chafing already." It's that kind of stupid humour, but it is so good. It is a laugh, you know. And then the first zombie that they come across, well, that girl zombie, and they're trying to kill her, and it's like, ooh, you know, two girls trying to kill a zombie, and they're both hating it, and it's just hilarious. It's definitely worth a watch.
So Fernando, have you realised that when you type into Google zombie movies, there's a little animation that runs underneath the search bar of a person running with 3 green zombies chasing it backwards and forwards?
Really?
Yeah.
He's trying it now.
Shaun of the Dead, hands down, is a favourite zombie movie for myself. But if I also want another laugh, it's a hard toss-up between Zombieland and A Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
That's pretty
Oh!
good too. Yeah, that's a good movie.
The zombie Willy scene, that's brilliant.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you have seen it, but the zombie Willy scene is absolutely sensational. It's a good laugh, that one. Just look at Fernando's face. He's going, "What are they talking about?" A zombie knob.
Going back on what you're saying with the English movie with the girls dressing up as a zombie outfits, that just reminded me of the Zombieland where Bill Murray
Yes.
is there dressed as a zombie and they just about kill him.
Well, they did. That's yeah. It's a good one as well.
Yeah.
How can you kill? How can you kill the OG Ghostbuster? You just can't.
Well, apparently you can if you dress as like a zombie. But even when he was dying, they were laughing because they said he was doing it really well.
Oh, he's just one of those people, though. If he was going to be a zombie, you'd want him around your house.
Yeah. Carl, Dusk Till Dawn is a vampire show, not a zombie show. That's
I just saw that right now. I was just about to say, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's a vampire, no?
And The Devil's Rejects, again, that's a messed up film, but
No,
it's
that's Rob Zombie is what they're getting at.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that'll be when we're talking about Rob Zombie. Yeah.
Oh, righto. My bad. I'm just reading back up. Yes, the Living Dead. Actually, Dawn of the Dead was the latest. Did you guys have seen the Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the
The
Dead was
new,
good.
not the original one, but the newer one. My
think I want to.
daughter was only young when that came out, and there's a scene at the start of that. Remember how she's a nurse, and she comes home and her partner's in bed, and she wakes up in the morning, and the girl across the street's down the hallway, and she's got the blonde hair. Well, that's exactly what my daughter looked like, and she was about the same sort of age when that came out. And all I can remember is watching that and waking up the next morning in the middle of the night, sort of still dark, to obviously I heard somebody waking me up, and my daughter was just leaning over me like, "Daddy, Daddy," and the hair was all. I freaking shit myself.
Holy crap.
I jumped the other side, and I don't know how, it was sort of some weird sideways, backwards, on me bum, on me feet, on me head, landed on the other side of the room, and that kind of woke her up. She goes, "What?" Oh, I've never felt my heart go like that before, and that night I did, because obviously watching the film the night before, and you know when you watch a film, stuff goes through your head when you're dreaming. Then to wake up with it happening for real. Talking about sleep paralysis, I think I jumped so far and so hard, and my body's going, "What are you doing? You're not awake yet." In a big pile. Oh, I absolutely crap myself.
Holy shit.
When you wake yourself up so fast, you get sleep paralysis.
Yep. Anyway, on that, I think we've got to go soon. We've got, unless you want to kick it to 1.5 hours, because we can probably go for another 10 minutes before we call it.
Well, I'm actually here going through a couple of articles that's we're going back to zombies, we're going back to fungus related theories that could possibly happen. And I'm seeing like a bunch of these pictures that they have within the TV show The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was actually at a new part of a structure within Kings Park, and it was like all dormitories.
Yep.
They even have bathrooms and all this, since Kings Park was a psychiatric center. So they have a bunch of rooms. But I walked into this one particular room. I have it all on video. There was grass growing inside this room.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff coming in, the trees, stems, just everything just flowing into this room. It's, one could wonder, like, how far-fetched could this be? Because if Earth could just grow so much and just take over this whole structure like this.
It's like that resort in Bali.
Yeah. There's a resort in Bali where what's happened is I think there were incidents, and then they actually ran out of money to finish this resort, and they just left it, and it's now
The jungle's
the
taken it back
jungle's
over,
reclaimed the whole thing. You can actually still visit it apparently, but it's at your own risk. And
Wow.
that's actually somewhere I wouldn't mind checking out. That sort of re what's the word for it? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually joked around with my members, and I was like, "Watch it! Don't step on the stem. Don't step on that. Don't step on that."
You don't
want,
actually, I do have a question for you. Do you remember there's a certain open window that somebody was going to put a drone through?
I actually did.
You did?
I actually got to do that. Yes, I actually did it yesterday, and the first time I did it was last week, because I went for Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And I went yesterday. So yes, hopefully I could get that footage out and about. And unfortunately on Friday the 13th it was pretty windy, so it was hard to get it steady.
Yep.
But yesterday it was pretty good. It feels like watching the video from the drone. Unfortunately, I got this drone, from Temu. I don't know if you guys heard of that app.
Temu, yeah.
Oh,
It's
Temu.
like Wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't touch that with a temple. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
Well, these drones they have for like $30-$40. I mean, the purpose of it is just to basically go up for that tower. So I wasn't planning to spend hundreds of dollars on a good drone. But yesterday it got pretty good footage, and I have to review it because it looks like I think I caught something.
Oh, that'll be interesting to check out.
Yes. But yeah, the drone worked perfectly fine. I mean, it only goes for like 5 to 10 minutes, but it worked perfectly fine.
Oh.
It just stopped working and it's just dropped from up there. So it's a disposable drone.
Oh, that's not what you want.
I did say that previous. Is it a disposable drone?
There's actually,
Yes, pretty much.
just as we're starting to close off on the zombie thing, there are a couple of, now these are just total YouTube fabricated, people putting their own content together, but they're actually cheesy and quite funny at the same time. There's a couple of guys in America that are going around claiming that there are these abandoned towns that have been cordoned off and that there's army protecting them and stuff because there could be a zombie, some sort of zombie contagion there and stuff. And they reckon this one's 3 hours east of LA, and they've headed out on this road, and they've put the drone up because they can't get close enough to it and stuff like that. And they're going through all these abandoned buildings, and they said it hasn't been used in over 20 years since this break happened. And I think, well, do your homework, guys, because that's like a 2012 pickup there, and that's this here there and stuff like that.
No.
But that's how cheesy this is. And then they come in and there's this zombie woman. Oh, is that a zombie? And it's like, oh, it's like it's doing its thing. And then it goes, oh, here the military. Here come the military, and they've got these guys in fatigues. Now, what do you expect when you see somebody with from the military who's guarding a zombie outbreak location? They'd have all the proper, fully automatic machine guns and stuff like that. No, they're coming out with these pistols going. It's 20 minutes of your life you will never get back, but at the same time, you can have a bit of a giggle watching some of these. So if I find them, I'll actually put the links up in our WAPA page, or I'll put them somewhere if anybody wants them. But yeah, there you go. Mark's talking about Chernobyl. There was a film that came out about Chernobyl, and that was not so much a zombie thing, but definitely mutant kind of messed up people kind of thing. That was actually not too bad. And now I've just remembered one of the scariest films that I've seen that was actually filmed in Sydney, and that's called The Tunnel. Where they find they find this entry into a tunnel, and the news crew gets stuck down there, and there's just some weird stuff that goes on, and the whole thing was shot for like $25 or something like that, but it's not bad. And there was another one that I watched not too long ago called As Above, So Below, and it's all to do, the catacombs under Paris, and they start off down there, and they keep working their way down further and further, and they said, no, we've got to work our way up. But it works out they're going through different levels of hell, basically. And, as above, so below. You keep working your way down and you end up coming back up at the surface. It's weird and messed up, and it's stupid, but there's a couple of genuine little frights in there as well. So and that's what I'm saying. A lot of these...
bucket list.
What's that? The catacombs?
That's in my bucket list, to go through the catacombs.
I've been through the outskirts of them, but we never actually went down into them. So that, and I was only 12, 13 at the time. So we got the PG version tour. It sucked nuts, but that's what it was when you're only a kid. So I was the messed up little kid that wanted all the good stuff, and everybody else were just dweebs. In fact, it was that long ago. That's when the Falklands War broke out, when we were in France.
You're that old.
So that's 1980. It's older than most of these.
So, I'm here just jotting down all of these awesome movies that you're talking about. So, but The Tunnel, there's a TV show and there's 2 movies. Are you talking about The Tunnel 2011?
Is it set? Was it filmed in Sydney? That could be it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be the one.
Got it. Thank you. I'll be watching that very soon.
Another one for you. It's a comedy zombie movie.
Zombies on planes.
Fido.
Fido.
Is that a dog zombie?
Yes.
Basically,
yeah.
Okay. It's dog zombies, not Rob zombies.
No. So, Fido.
Fido
is it's an actual person they keep as a zombie pet.
That's like the end of Shaun of the Dead. They got him playing the game.
Yeah. So the main caption of that part of the movie is Fido, good, dead, or hard to find.
All right. I jotted that down too.
Man, we're not going to see him for a month now because he's been watching movies every night.
He's probably going to be horrified by your taste in movies.
Yeah, I
is-
apologize in
this is-
advance for my taste in movies.
It's gonna be awesome. Halloween is gonna be awesome. I'm do a whole marathon of just scary movies. Like how I mentioned before, unfortunately around our way, especially here in New York, Halloween changed.
Yeah.
You cannot just do the traditional trick-or-treating and stuff like that anymore. It's
Oh, it
it's
happens.
horrible.
It happens here.
People around here.
We've got to go out and get all of our lollies and stuff ready for all the kids that come around. And I'll tell you what
And
are the
then you
worst. I'll tell you what the worst are the little girls, right? Because what was that little one last year? She's come up and the mum's just sort of stood back a little bit, and she's this little cute girl in a blood-soaked tutu kind of thing, and Lynn holds the bowl down. So there you go, you can grab one. And I shit you not, this little 2-3-year-old girl pulls out this claw the size of the biggest bloody werewolf you've ever seen and just grabs about half the bloody lollies in one grab. And not one of them dropped. She had a tight hold on those. And
Her mum made her put them back.
her mum made it's like, no, you can keep them now.
What?
Oh, I was about to get...
I'm gonna teach Peyton to use both hands.
No, you only need one. You just grab the bowl and tip them into your bag.
Actually, she would do that. Like when I say she has a monkey grip, I mean she has a monkey grip.
Oh,
Are you taking her
man.
trick or treating this year?
Are we? Don't think so.
Not yet.
I took Jess.
She's not old enough to understand.
Me and my brother took Jess, my daughter, and his daughter out trick-or-treating one year. And, they were having fun, doing all their stuff and getting all their lollies. And then we end up going around the block. And I don't know if it was some sort of dodgy area or something like that, but there was about 2 or 3 families out there. And they go, nobody's been passed. I go, oh, well, we're here. It's like 7:30, close to 8 o'clock. We were just about to head home. So they came out with this big bowl and they just went, emptied she ended up with about 3 bowls of lollies from these last 2 visits, 2 or 3 visits, and they absolutely scored.
See, we don't get many on our street coming down, or many people really. It's just a few of the younger parents with younger kids. You maybe might get 2 or 3 knocks at the door. That's about it.
Oh no, we get it's like a zombie apocalypse out there here at this time of the year, because they all sort of come across, and then they've got like this cordyceps type radar between them all, and it's like that place gives lollies. Boom! Suddenly they all come out of nowhere.
Yep. So I'm going to sound like a real bad person here, but a couple of years back, one of Kerry's friends were at their house for Halloween, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it great. They had an old chair sitting at the front of their house. So they dressed me up over with a whole black robe with the Grim Reaper, and I held a skeleton hand out the sleeve with candy in it. And when the kids would come up to grab the candy out of their hand, you just jump at them, they'd drop everything they had and run off.
Oh, Mark, Trick or Treat was an awesome film in the 80s. That the soundtrack was by an Irish band called Fastway. I have that soundtrack somewhere, so it is a great soundtrack.
Next to the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
It was a definitely D-grade 80s movie, but it all started when somebody played a record backwards, and then it brought some dead rock star back to life, and his music brought the devil or some kind of weird mutated. It was around the time, when The Thing came out with Kurt Russell. It's that kind of effects. really bad John Carpenter type effects, but it was a good film. Yeah.
Here's one for you, Gary. Would you say Idle Hands? Would you say that was just a scary movie or a zombie movie?
Which one?
Idle Hands.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
You haven't heard
Idle
of Idle Hands?
No.
It's with Seth Green. It was in '99. It came out.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both, right? Because you have the hand that basically that has a mind of its own, killing people. So it's like a slasher comedy horror.
Is that the hand where the
considered-
fingers bend and stuff? Or is that some other
That's
film?
all hands.
No, it's a hand, like a monkey's hand, and as you pull the finger,
Oh, no, it's a human hand.
Yeah.
So it's
Idle
like
Hands.
It's a good
Thing.
movie.
Is it Thing?
It is a good movie. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, I think we have relegated ourselves to a D grade movie now with some of the stuff we're talking about. So I think
We're
it's
not
a good.
talking about zombies
there's-
anymore.
Look, you look at some D grade zombie movies, and there is.
I know, and they're absolutely horrific. Lynn will come in. Back when I had Prime, right, I'll be watching some of the worst zombie films or, well, worst films full stop, and Lynn comes and goes, not your shit again. Straight out the other side of the room and just let me finish the film.
It's like, oh, we'll make a D grade zombie parody. We'll call it The Walking Deceased.
I'll sign up for that.
Anyway,
I'll sign up for that.
on that note, I think it's time to decease ourselves from the show for the night and wish everybody out there the best Halloween ever, and tune in because our shows come out on a Tuesday night, and next Tuesday night is Halloween, so we do have a special show set up for that, which was yes, anyway, as you can see, we are preparing for a good Halloween, and we will see you all on Halloween. We will be in the chat room if you're going to watch live, so we can chat you guys live when it comes on, and
yeah, for the premiere.
And then we will see you all again next Friday night for the next live stream, which we will have some other weird topic to talk about. So until then, take it easy, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.